guys, so welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do a really quick video about what I take with me in my bag when I go out. So this is my bag, all ready to go. So what I'm going to do is to show you what I've put in my bag by unpacking it, just so that you can see what I go out with. Now, as you can see, my hair is tied back already today, but I also have a scrunchie on my arm, and I have extra bubbles in my bag as well. And this is for the purpose of, obviously I have some children, and you never know when you're going to need extra bubbles, and I never go out without them. So I'm just going to show you the extra bubbles that I have. These are currently my daughter's bubbles, because bubbles tend to go walkabouts in my house. So bubbles are must when we go out, especially if my hair is down or the kids' hair is down. So yeah, bubbles. This sounds really stupid, but yeah, can't go anywhere without bubbles. So the next thing that I will take with me, obviously in this day and age, is masks. I have two masks. I tend to wear this one more so than anything else because it's really light. It's only 3-ply, and I wear this pretty much every single day when I leave the house and in the car and stuff like that, just because it is lighter and it just helps me able to breathe better. As you know, I am asthmatic and I do have a growth in my chest, so having the lightest thing possible on my face is really, really good. But I do have this mask as well. This mask is 5-ply, it is carbon filtered, and I wear this more so when I'm going to a supermarket, a garden centre, or somewhere where there's going to be lots of flowers, because flowers cause my throat and just kind of like swell up and start itching and cause me to have a really major coughing fit. So this is why I wear this one, and it never leaves the house without it, to be honest with you, because I go past a lot of like grass and stuff like that on the way to pick my son up from school. If I can get away with my lighter one, I will, but I have this one as well, just in case, especially if this one falls off or gets damaged or is dirty or is getting dry because of the fact I have to wash them. I have a spare, so always good to have a spare mask. So the other things that I take, some of these may sound strange to you guys, but I hope you're going to bear with me, and I apologise in advance if this video goes on quite a while. So the other things I take with me, again with COVID being around, but even before COVID went around, these are things that I would never leave the house without. So alcohol gel, can't leave the house without alcohol gel, because you never know what you're going to pick up off anything, whether it be a cold or like any bacteria or anything like that, because you know, not everybody washes their hands when they go to the bathroom, so you never know when you're going to need some alcohol gel. So I will always take alcohol gel with me, especially if I've been to like a disabled toilet and I've washed my hands and it's not been the cleanest of disabled toilets. I will always make sure that I use hand gel. So hand gel is a must for me. The other thing I take out with me are wet wipes. I take wet wipes out with me, not just for the kids when they have sticky fingers, but also to help refresh myself if I've been sick, or if I'm just feeling a little bit under the weather and I'm feeling a little bit hot under the collar. I will use a wet wipe. But these are really, really good as well if you are in a public toilet, say with your child, you've both used to use the bathroom and or the sink's not working, or there's no paper towels to dry your hands with, or stuff like that. These are a great alternative to wash your hands. So I never leave the house without the wet wipes. The other thing I don't leave the house with is tissues. Again, children, snotty noses, but I also have the tissues not just to cough and sneeze into, but also to help wipe my mouth if I've been sick, and they come in really handy. I mean, let's face it, what tissues don't? So tissues are a must when I go out as well. The next thing I take out is my feeds. I'm supposed to drink 3 of these a day. I'm gonna be honest, I am terrible at drinking, and I'm struggling to just get 100 mils of this down me, and it's only a 125 ml bottle, and I'm supposed to drink 325 ml bottles a day. It's making my acid reflux really, really bad. It's very sickly and sweet. I'm not the type of thing that I can tolerate very often or very well. So I take a bottle with me and I just sip it throughout the day. And the days that I can't physically stomach this, because I know I'm just going to bring it back, I will just live off the crackers that I've been living off for the past 2 months. Because anything that I'm putting in my stomach is just causing me physical pain. But this will always go with me when I go out, because I've got to eat and they're trying to get nutrition into me. So the next thing, I know this is going a lot quicker, but I don't mind that because it means my video is shorter. So the next thing I take out is pens and a pad of paper. The reason I do this is because you never know when a doctor or anyone's going to phone you with a date that you need to remember, or an appointment that you need to remember, or a telephone call number that you need to remember. So I always make sure that I take a pad and some pens with me so that I can write important information down as it comes at me, because let's face it, if somebody rings me at 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm out at an appointment already, or I'm out with my family for a day out and somebody rings me at 10 o'clock and I don't get in till, say, midday, by midday I've forgotten about what time they said, what date they said, what day of the week they said. So it's always a good idea to take a pad of paper and some pens with me, just so that I can remember important information. So that's another thing I take with me. The next thing I take is my Just Can't Wait card. This card is for those who have bladder and bowel issues, or stomach issues in general. So for me, I have gastric paresis and I have IBS, and I have a prolapsed bladder. So I need to go to the toilet. I have frequent UTIs, which means I need the toilet quite often. If I'm in an IBS flare, I'll need to get to the bathroom as soon as possible. If I'm going to be sick, I need to get to a bathroom as soon as possible. The purpose of this card is that it will allow me to access a private toilet or even a public toilet that maybe a normal general population may not be able to access. So for example, if there's a public toilet that's not feasible because it's being cleaned or whatever, I can show my card into a local shop and they can either guide me to the local, like the nearest store, like say for example like a nearest pub or nearest restaurant or whatever that might have a toilet that I can use, or if they themselves have a staff toilet, they can always offer me the use of that with me showing this card. If you want to know where I'm getting anything from, please DM me in my Instagram and I will send you the links. But this is basically a really good card to have for that purpose. I will say, if you have an iPhone, there is an app that you can use with this card, which will tell you where your nearest and localist toilets are. But unfortunately, there isn't an app available for Android phones at the moment. So just thought I'd point that out there. So yeah, I take my Just Can't Wait card. The next thing I will take with me is Always Discreet. Not being sponsored by any way, but I prefer these than the big knicker things that you can buy. Because I have a prolapsed bladder and because I get frequent UTIs, it can cause some dribbling, I suppose is probably the best term. Sorry if it's too much information. But I never leave the house without one of these to change into, or basically to change the one that I'm currently wearing, especially if I'm going to be out for a few hours or whatever. So I swear by that to catch any mishaps and to maintain my dignity. The next thing I also go out with is a sick bowl. I did used to use the cardboard versions, but they used to get damaged a lot. So now I invest in these. I know they're probably not the best thing for the environment, but they are very easily to dispose of. They have notches on the side, as you can see, and there's 4 of them. So once you've been sick, you can physically just tie this up and put it into one of the notches on the side. And then once you get to a public bathroom, and this is what I do, once you get to a bathroom, like a disabled toilet or a public bathroom, you can then empty the contents of the bag into a bin. Into the toilet, and then put this into the sanitary bin so that nobody's going to come into contact with a bag that's had your vomit in it. And the reason why I do that is because I don't feel it's right to put a bag full of vomit into a public bin. I would try my best to try and get to a toilet to empty the contents first. So I always go out with some of these. There's always about 4 or 5 of these in the car because my daughter gets travel sick as well. But obviously we have them in the car in case I'm not feeling great and I need to be sick. So this is ideal. Or they're even good if actually you need the bathroom for a number 1, I guess, or a number 2. Because, you know, kids will need the toilet at unusual times. I've not actually personally used them for that purpose, but I know that other people have, so just thought I'd put that out there. But yeah, I always go out with a sick bag. The next thing that I go out with is my 60ml syringe. Now, I have a few of these. I have one upstairs, one in the car, and one in my bag. The reason for this is because I suffer with my heart condition, which is supraventricular tachycardia, or SVT for short. The purpose of the syringe, which you're probably questioning, why she got a syringe if she hasn't got a feeding tube. So the purpose of the syringe is to basically use it to trick my heart to go back into the normal rhythm when I'm in an SVT episode. So it uses it's called the Valsalva maneuver, and it basically stimulates the vagus nerve into tricking your heart to go back into normal rhythm. And the purpose is you blow in the end of it, trying to push this out, and the harder you blow onto it to try and push this out, the more effective it is. This one has a lid on it, so obviously if I was to blow in this is quite an easy plunger. So sometimes I'll just use it with the lid on, because it's harder to pull this out. Like, as you can see, I can't even get it out at the minute, which is good. Because the harder it is to blow this out, the more effective your Valsalva maneuver will be. Obviously, if you suffer with SVT yourself and you have this method, and you carry around one of these just like I would do, now I carry one in the car, one's in my room and one's here in my bag in the living room, which is always the case. If you have the same thing and you do use the same thing, I would highly recommend, if you don't already, that way if you have an SVT episode and the Valsalva maneuver works, then I would still contact your GP or your family doctor and allow them to know that you've had an episode, just so that it can be documented. And I would try this 3 times. If it hasn't worked after 3 attempts, then I would then be looking at calling an ambulance for help. But majority of the time this will actually help. So that's what I take with me with that. And then I also take some with me, some Vaseline or some lip gloss, mainly because of the fact that wearing a mask, like one of these, where everywhere you go, can cause a lot of dryness around your lips and around your mouth. So it's always good to have some lip balm or some lip gloss, just to keep your mouth and your lips moisturised. Also, it's really good if you've been sick, because you do a lot of wiping around your mouth if you've been sick quite a bit, and that can cause some cracking and dryness of your mouth as well. So lip balm's a must. The next thing I take out is my power bank and my charger, which is here. The reason I'm not taking my charger out of my bag is because I wanted to show you this little feature here. This has a little tab on the side, which basically you can pull your charger wire through. Now, this is what I use my bag for, especially if my bag is on my back or it's on the back of my wheelchair or the side of my wheelchair. I can charge my phone on the go if it's necessary. I will never leave the house without a power bank or a charger, because obviously with chronic health, you never know if you're going to need to call someone, and the last thing you want to do is have your phone run out of battery. But this way I can charge my phone. It's shower proof and protected, which means that my wire is not going to get damaged. And it's really good way of charging my phone on the go without having to get my power bank and my wire out of my bag. But if you had a bag that was similar to this, that has one of these on it, and you didn't want to damage your bag by cutting a hole at the bottom or a hole in the side or anything like that, then I would highly recommend a bag like this. If you have a feeding tube and your bags of feed are small, or your bags of water are small if you're on IV fluids, for your pump and your feed, because you can also put your tubes through this, not just your charger. And that's the appeal that I got with this. I got this bag after my gastro doctor told me that there was a chance I could need a feeding tube at some point. I actually have 2 bags like this. I have a bigger bag that has one of these on as well, which is on the back of my wheelchair, which I received today. And then obviously I have my portable one, which comes with me everywhere I go. Obviously, if I'm going to be out a really long time, I will pack extras in my other bag at the back of my wheelchair. And the last but not last thing, it's the last but not least thing that I go out with is medication. Obviously, can't go out without medication. And also this. This is my cardio machine. It is basically a one-line ECG reader or an EKG reader. Basically, you put this on a flat surface. There's an app on your phone. It will give you a one-line ECG reading, and doesn't always pick up every arrhythmia because it all depends on which line of your heart it's reading. But it can pick up things like atrial fibrillation, unclassified arrhythmias. And also lets me know if my heart rate is above 180, which would indicate that I could be in an SVT episode. I always carry it on this lanyard, and this lanyard is always attached to my phone because obviously I never leave the house without it, and I never leave the house without my phone. So this is always attached to my phone. But the last thing I really wanted to show you that I go out with is this. This is my sunflower lanyard. Sunflower lanyards were created so that people were aware that you suffered with a invisible illness or an invisible disability. You cannot basically use these unless you have your medical information written down. Now, I've done this purposely just for this video, but I have one of these with my actual medical information on, which has kind of been put sort of one side and I can't find it at the minute. But I basically have a template which I used, so I'm using it for this video. And I have all my information on the back of everything I suffer with. But it's not an excuse to not wear a mask. Now, I'm exempt from wearing a mask anyway because I have asthma, which is quite bad, and I have a mediastinal growth in my back, which is a chest growth, which is plush against my spine. So I'm actually exempt from wearing a facial covering, but I still wear one anyway because I know that I'm a high-risk group. But I've got this lanyard not to the purpose of trying to not wear a facial covering. I got it for the purpose that it was meant for, which is to show to other people that I do have an invisible illness, and I might need to have more time taken in order to do certain tasks. Supermarkets have been amazing with these. I got mine from Sainsbury's. If you want to know where else you can buy them from, because you can buy them, then please message me on my Instagram and I will send you the link of where you can get these from. I got mine free from my local Sainsbury's, but Sainsbury's don't always carry them. Tesco I go into and a lot of, and I've dropped a few things on the floor, I'm not going to lie, and when I have and they've seen the lanyard, the staff have been amazing. They've come to me, they've asked me do I need any assistance, and it's been amazing. So the purpose of these is so that people are aware that you may need some extra time to do stuff, you may need some additional support, and you may need some help doing your shopping if you're out and about. So that is the purpose why I got mine. However, I do have tagged mine with a few little badges. This one says end mental health stigma, and this one says fighting invisible battles. This is just so I know that this one's my lanyard, because my son and my daughter both suffer with invisible illnesses as well. So we all have a lanyard. The kids don't tend to use theirs much. We've got them purposely for the airport, because airports also recognise these, but not every single place will recognise the sunflower lanyards. But they don't work unless you physically put your medical information on either. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is what I take with me when I go out. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you have any questions about where I've gotten anything, like the Just Can't Wait card or the sunflower lanyard, then or the cardia, then please message me on my Instagram, which I will tag below, and I'll be happy to answer and send you the links. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day. Bye.